Good afternoon, everyone. I call this special council meeting Monday, March the 11th, 2024, 1 p.m. to order and to acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of the Stahelas. The next order of business, please.
The next order of business is introduction of late items.
Do I have any late items? So I have one late item. So I have an urgent matter regarding peace and order and good governance of this village, which requires a resolution from council. And I'd like to add it under new business, item B. Do I have a seconder?
Sorry,
Seconded
is
by-
that 5B?
It would be 5B.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Seconded by Councillor Allen. Discussion on that? Ready to call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Nobody's opposed. Passes unanimously. Next order of business, please.
The next order of business is approval of the agenda.
Do I have approval of the agenda as amended?
So moved.
Moved by Councillor Allen, seconded by Councillor Facio. I would like to remove item 5A from new business. Do I need a resolution of council, or can we just approval of the agenda as amended still? To our corporate officer.
Thank you, Mayor Wood. If we are approving the agenda as amended by removing 5A and adding your new item in place of that, so that would become 5A. So that would be the motion on the table at this time then, if that's your amendment.
Is just approval of the agenda as amended?
Approval of the agenda as amended by removing 5A and substituting it with your late item 5A.
Thank you. Do I have a move? I move that. Do I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Facio. Discussion on that? Call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Passes unanimously. No one was opposed. Next order of business, please.
The next order of business is bylaws, and item A is the report from Chief Financial Officer regarding the 2024-2028 financial plan bylaw number 1202-2024.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you. Here today to request that the 2024 to 2028 financial plan bylaw be given first reading and to move forward with a public open house to gain public feedback on the financial plan. On February 20th, 2024, staff introduced and presented the draft 2024 to 2028 financial plan to council at a special meeting held that day. For discussion, pursuant to section 165 of the community charter, council must adopt annually a 5-year financial plan. And also pursuant to the community charter, council must undertake a process of public consultation regarding the proposed financial plan before its adoption. So following the first reading of the financial plan bylaw, there will be several opportunities for the public to provide feedback on the budget. The plan will be made available for public consultation at an open house to be held during the last week of March 2024. The public will be invited to provide feedback on the financial plan at that time, and the public will have additional opportunity to provide feedback at any time, either before or after the open house, through correspondence with the village office. Staff will provide a summary of the public feedback to council at the regular meeting on April 2nd, 2024, and the financial plan will be on the agenda for further council consideration at that time. There will be one final opportunity for the public to provide in-person feedback at that meeting. So accordingly, the recommendation is that the 2024 to 2028 financial plan bylaw number 1202-2024 be introduced and given first reading, and that the 2024 to 2028 financial plan be presented for public consultation at an open house to be held in the last week of March 2024 at Memorial Hall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Move recommendation, Mayor Wood.
I'm gonna split these two recommendations up because the one recommendation for the public's information and for council, I'm gonna split it up because this is just first reading on the financial bylaw, which does not include any debate. So there's no conversation on that. So there can be conversation on the second recommendation, which is the public consultation. So we're gonna split those up. So I'll read that out again. So the recommendation, the motion that's on the table now is that the 2024-2028 financial plan bylaw number 1202-2024 be introduced and given first reading. Do I have a mover? Moved by Councillor Facio, seconded by Councillor Vidal. There's no discussion on this, so we're ready to call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion passes unanimously with nobody opposed. So the second part of the recommendation, excuse me, is that the 2024-2028 financial plan be presented for public consultation at an open house to be held in the last week of March 2024 at Memorial Hall. Do I have a mover? Mover to Councillor Vidal, seconded by Councillor Allen. Do we have discussion on this?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just looking at my diary on that, we're almost at the middle of March already. This is a couple of weeks away, and I'd like to give people as much notice as possible. Does staff have a particular date in mind for the last week in March? Because I have a couple of appointments on that week that I have to be out of town. For
Go ahead to our Chief Financial Officer.
Thank you, Mayor Wood, through Councillor Allen. We're pretty open. However, staff would suggest the 26th or 27th would work well.
those happen to be the 2 days that I'll be at Chilliwack Hospital. Sorry. But hey, you don't need me necessarily.
It is, yes, council, any member of council is more than welcome to be at the public open house. It is optional, but we could also do the afternoon of the 28th as well.
Is that, go ahead.
Well, that would suit me better, but I'm only one voice, so let's hear from others if necessary.
So you're asking for an amendment to the motion to make it,
No, not really, Mr. Mayor. I think staff can take that as direction and work accordingly. Thank you.
okay, thank you. Further discussion on that? So I'll read the motion again, is that the 2024-2028 financial plan be presented for public consultation at open house to be held in the last week of March 2024 at Memorial Hall. So I call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Nobody opposed. Passes unanimously. Next order of business, please.
The next order of business is new business, and item 5A is now the late item that was introduced at the top of the meeting, urgent matter regarding peace and order from Mayor Wood.
Thank you. So whereas I have urgent concerns for peace and order and government of the village, and whereas per section 116-1 and 2 of the community charter, which I will read out, the mayor is the head and chief executive officer of the municipality. Item 2 is, in addition to the mayor's responsibility as a member of council, the mayor has the following responsibilities, subsection A, to provide leadership to the council, including by recommending bylaws, resolutions, and other measures in the mayor's opinion may assist the peace, order, and good government of the municipality, being the responsibility of the mayor, and whereas that 3 councillors are preventing me from performing my duties by poisoning the workplace and village with vexatious complaints and gossip, all without merit, I move that council direct the corporate officer to immediately draft a letter to the Minister of Municipal Affairs to immediately dissolve all of council, including the mayor and the chief administrative officer, and to appoint a trustee to ensure continuity of village business and peace and order. Do I have a seconder?
I'll second that.
Seconded by Councillor Allen. Discussion. Councillor Allen.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. Well, I'm not happy to be seconding the motion, but I recognize the political realities of the voting power in the village council at the moment being 3-2. And I have an enormous amount of sympathy with you in your efforts to lead the council and the community for the last year and a half. And I really think it's a sad day when we're at this stage. And while I second the motion, I do so without any enthusiasm whatsoever. I hope that it's not interpreted as a failure on your part. And I share your concerns about the security and safety of the community and the village. And I do believe that if we go this route and we appeal to the minister, I only hope that the person that they send in as a trustee, I think you characterized it, is somebody with a vast amount of experience in administering small towns, solving these problems, and straightening out the administration of our community, which is something that you and I have been unsuccessful in doing. And I believe there's a lot of work that needs to be done. And I only wish that I had been given any kind of an opportunity to do it. But since that is simply not working, we do need to get on with stabilizing this community, running it properly. And if that requires an intervention of this caliber from Victoria, I'm happy to support such an intervention as long as it's going to be effective and get the job done. I don't believe that the previous effort by Mr. Poole had a sufficient mandate to do anything useful, because he was very limited in what he could do or talk about or discuss, and it made his job essentially impossible. This time, we need somebody with the authority which used to exist in the Inspector of Municipalities office to be able to come into Harrison and open every file in every closet and shine the bright light in every corner and be thorough and complete in that review. And if that can happen, I'm very much in support of having that happen. So I'm in favor of your resolution with regret. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Facio.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Wood. Just briefly, I'm offended by your comments this morning, and I will be voting against this. Thank you.
Councillor Vidal.
Thank you. This item and resolution comes as a complete surprise. I am not in favor of this motion. You seem to be indicating and pointing out 3 councillors and a senior staff member. Therefore, I will not be voting in favor of the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Peace and order of this village is one of my top priorities, and it's an extremely important priority. When we have members of the public who inform the mayor and councillors that they feel threatened and uncomfortable to come to a council meeting to speak, that's a concern. That's a major concern. I heard Councillor Vidal at the first regular meeting of council when Councillor Allen was sworn in. Councillor Vidal had concerns and wanted to call the RCMP from the audience. Just at our last regular council meeting, Councillor Allen raised the same concerns. He had concerns for his safety. I also had concerns at that same meeting, and I tried to clear the gallery. The RCMP were here. The RCMP should not have to come in and get involved in village politics and village business. I have asked the RCMP to stay away as much as they can. They are here if required, but this is not an RCMP issue. This is a village issue. By recommending this letter to the Minister of Municipal Affairs takes all council, including the mayor, out of the political field. For the minister to make a decision based on removing 2, 3, whatever number of councillors becomes political. This should make it very clear that our mandate is to give the public an opportunity, call an election, vote who they believe is fit. I would declare that I would run again for mayor, and I think it's an opportunity for the public, and the public have to make this decision. The village has become so divided. I've seen some correspondence, which concerns me greatly, that we have people within this village now fighting amongst themselves on a political nature. That is the absolute last thing that I wanted to see as mayor. I am strong. I will continue and fight to make change to this village, but we are at an impasse. Public safety is paramount. Good government is paramount. I, with regret, put this motion forward today, but I feel it is necessary. So I'm ready to call the question. I will read the motion one more time. I move that council direct the corporate officer to immediately draft a letter to the Minister of Municipal Affairs to immediately dissolve all of council, mayor, and chief administrative officer, and to appoint a trustee to ensure continuity of village business, peace and order. So I call the question. All in favor? Opposed? Motion fails with Councillor Vidal and Councillor Facio opposed. Next order of business, please.
The next order of business is questions from the public.
Any questions from the public? Come on up. Yeah.
Hi, Gary Webster, 520 McCombs Drive. I'd just like to ask, maybe council could find the ability to put a little bit more money into interface fire protection for the village. I mean, 1%, 2% would be great. I think it would go a long way to protect the village from wildfire fire.
Would any councillor like to speak on that? Great. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Or Councillor Allen, go ahead.
Well, yes, I'm not sure it's appropriate during this meeting because we've just given it first reading for the bylaw, but the bylaw is now open for public comments. And I appreciate the gentleman's concerns. I don't think that we have any limitation on our ability to clean out the woodland that we actually own. And I'm talking about all of our little pocket parks, the area around the reservoir, the 79 acres. We own the land. We don't really have to seek any higher level of government's approval to go into land that we own and are responsible for. And I think that it would be a really good idea for us now before the summertime to at least start by clearing the debris alongside Macomb Drive that leads into our 79 acres. A lot of that was left over from the trail construction and never cleaned up. We've put 30,000 in the budget already. It would be a good idea, in my opinion, without adding more money to the budget, simply to deploy our outside personnel in the Public Works Department with instructions to start a cleanup along Macomb Drive on the land that we own, not the Crown land, and perhaps the little park near the water reservoir and other small areas. And by doing so, I think we would be demonstrating to the public and other landowners that we need to be dealing with the buildup of brush and fuel. And unless we do that, we can't go after the private people and force them to do it. We have to lead by example. So it may be a budget item. I think we have personnel that have some of the time available. I think it's more important than landscaping at the beach that we do that. And if you were the chief executive officer with the powers that I think you should have, I think that would be happening. It's not happening, and I think that we can make it happen and should make it happen. Thank you.
Thank you. So just to explain again, just so the public understand, so the bylaw that was just given, what's called first reading, is just exactly that. We cannot discuss this. Believe me, this conversation is going to come up in the next stages of the bylaw and in the public consultation. So I'd strongly encourage you to come on back and bring it up at the public consultation process here, and I guarantee you that I will be speaking about it. I think Councillor Vidal had a
Thank you,
comment.
Mayor Wood, through you to our speaker. Thanks for taking the time to come out today. And as Mayor Wood indicated, this is only first reading of the bylaw, and I would strongly urge you to come out to the open house where we will have numerous staff available. Usually there are some static boards that are up. Will that be?
Thank you, Mayor Wood, through the Council Vital. We'll do a full presentation and then open for questions and comments.
Yeah. Good, thank you. That's been confirmed by our financial officer, but again, thanks for taking the time to come out today.
Can I say one more thing?
Absolutely.
This is a seed planted.
Thank you very much. Any other questions from the gallery? Yep, I see.
First of all, I want to say thank you to Mayor Wood and Councillor Allen for trying to dissolve this council and make Harrison a better place to live in. We still have the same issues, and 2 people out of 3 who do not agree with this motion is so sad. But those are the same people that keep us from going forward and making this village the best that it can be. So thank you, Mayor Wood. Thank you, Councillor Allen, for putting that motion forward. Unfortunately, it didn't pass. Thank you.
Is there anybody on Zoom?
Anybody on Zoom, if you have a question, please raise your hand. No questions, Your Worship.
Thank you. A call for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
Moved by Councillor Allen, seconded by Councillor Facio. Discussion on that. Call the question. All in favor? Nobody's opposed. Passes unanimously. We are adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for coming.